Thank you.
Hi, I want to believe some of the stories you have been sharing in this channel have been of benefit to your life and that of your business. These are some of the experiences that you have had as you founded Username from 2013 to this point. Today we'd like to cover a topic that is closer to our hearts. And we'd also like to share our experiences on how we moved from being a very small organization to the place we are in right now. We are quite a big SME and we are also looking forward to be a corporate. And I would like to start with an interesting statistics. Last year, 400 small SMEs went down. They never celebrated their second birthday. Another interesting statistic, and this is worldwide. 8 out of 10 startups, they die within the first 2 years. 8 out of 10. So only 2 make it. So if you have made it in the second year, you are doing a good job. But today we would like to cover a topic that I believe can cause a big change to our country. If only all those, we have 7.5 million SMEs in Kenya. If all of them, or even 10% or even 20% of them were to become corporates, how much can we be able to do? Another very interesting thing, 85% of our population is employed by SMEs. Imagine if they were to become corporates, if they were to move to the next level. I also know no one is telling SMEs on how to move to the next level. Difficult decision has to be made. I still remember in 2016 some of the decisions that we made. And before I proceed, I'd like to introduce a very special guest. I know some of you are wondering, I'm just giving stories. We have Julius Karanja. He is my co-director at Username Investment Ltd. He's an accomplished engineer, for those who are asking, and we have been friends for a long time since our campus days. We were actually in the same class and in the same room, and he also scored a first-class degree in computer technology in the year 2008, graduated together. Interestingly, we also worked together in Safaricom, quite a history. But today we also have our co-director who is not with us. We have Joseph Gitonga. He'll join us in the next episode. We have many stories that we feel they are not beneficial if you stay with them. We feel like if you are to share this, other people can learn with some of the topics. I remember when we were starting the business, I would look for any story that would encourage me, and I feel it is also our responsibility to share these stories and also encourage more people, more small businesses. I would like to give him this chance to introduce himself. You may want to hear his voice. He's an interesting person to be around.
Thank you.
Welcome, Julius.
Thank you, Reuben. I'm glad that you invited me to come and talk during this forum. It's good that we are sharing some of the challenges that we faced as a business as we started. And it's good that we have a very long history with you together, having come from very far up to this point that we have come, and we have a very big vision ahead of us. So I'm glad. My name is Julius Karanja, as he has said, and I'm a co-founder and a director of Username Investment Ltd.
Thank you so much. One of the things that he has not said, apart from being an interesting person, he's very passionate in the area of entrepreneurship and now in real estate. So that is a topic for another day about how to choose partners in business, and you don't want to miss this time. Back to our topic. I remember in 2015 in December, as an entrepreneur, you are encouraged to keep looking for knowledge. You can't be able to get enough information even when you pursue academic angles. Sometimes you have to seek information, you have to read business books, you have to go for seminars, many other things, just to be able to keep abreast. So in the course, I've been one of these ardent readers. I like, out of curiosity, knowing stuff. I've attended entrepreneurship seminar, and I attended one in the year 2015. We were with my partner Joseph, and I remember one of the topics that was covered by Mike Masharia, the CEO of 7Cs Technology at that point. The one I still remember at this point. It was about something called scaling up, moving from a small SME to a corporate. He actually gave statistics, and he was wondering if you had to move millions, if not thousands, if not millions of SMEs in the country to the corporate segment, you'd have a big change to our economy. But that's one of the things I really was very keen on, because I was wondering, we're just a small organization, and just to give statistics, we were just 4 guys in the office. Now that was in the year 2015. From 2013 to 2016, we did very small project, 1 project per year. Then I was wondering, how do we move and become a leader in this segment? And after we came back from the boot camp, I remember we had a long meeting, a whole day meeting, thinking through, trying to convince ourselves. You see, we had to move from 4 employees, and we needed maybe to have more than 20. We were paying an office for 27,000 only, and it was a hassle to pay that office. But now we are meeting, and now we want to pay an office worth 270,000. That is 10 times more. I also remember at that point, wanted to move from a very small project, maybe it was like 5 million. We were looking for $1 million project, which was, I would say, I think we were just crazy. And we started believing and trying to push ourselves, trying to make ourselves believe in the subject. The last thing that we were trying to do in terms of business, we wanted to move the revenue from where it was very small to more than $1 million for 1 single project. It was not easy, and I remember we said very difficult things that we needed to do. Maybe to start off, and Julius has been there, we have been working together, and I'm happy I have partners who believe in the vision. That's how we came together, equally passionate about it, willing to give everything for the purpose of making this vision true. And maybe he's a man of stories, and I think some of the things that we tried to do at that point, maybe he would like to maybe to start off.
Thank you, Reuben. When you mentioned about the boot camp that you went to Naivasha, I remember very well during that time, I was working, and the following day we were supposed to take some customers to site, because we had just launched one of our projects in Konza. So we agreed that Reuben and Joseph will go to the boot camp, and I'm going to be left behind. At least I take care of the customers once I finish my my shift at where I was working at Safaricom. So I remember that time, and when they came back, they were able to share with me most of the stories. We had a very long meeting discussing, and one of the topics that came up is about scaling up. We were here in town. We had a very small office, very small indeed. It was, I think, the size of like 3 by 6. That was the size of the office, or 4 by 6, I may say. So at one point, I remember there was a customer who had called me because I was in the office that day. And when that customer came, because of the size of the office and we are selling plots, he was like, "Hello, is this username?" And I said, "Yes, this is username. Welcome and have a seat." He left and looked again. I think I'm lost. That's what the customer said. The customer said, "I'll be back." The customer never came back again. And that triggered my mind. That triggered my mind. Why did that customer decide to go and not to come back? And that is one of the triggers that made us think and make a decision that we need to grow. We need to grow. We need to move from where we are. We need to move to the next level so that at least we can be able to move for business. During that time, because we were few, we were just 4 of us, the 3 of us and 1 employee. I remember I was handling the accounting side of things. And I remember one of the, I think I had shared with Reuben that story again. During one time, we were supposed to pay rent in that small office. It was around 20th, and we were supposed to pay rent by around 27th of the month. And looking at our records, I think the only money that we had remaining in the account was only 17,000, and we needed 27,000. So I remember I sat down and wrote an email to them, and I told them, guys, this is not to make you worry, but to ensure that you at least make sure you sell one plot between now and 27, so that we can be able to pay for our rent. And I think that one shocked us, and we decided if we continue this way, we'll get to a point whereby we are not going to grow and we are going to close the business. So we decided, let's move. Let's think of coming up with big projects that are going to give us more revenue that can be able to help us pay our suppliers, pay rent, and pay staff, so that we can be able to move on. Yes, Reuben.
We usually, when we meet most of the time in our meetings, we usually remember some of those experiences and we laugh a lot. You can't imagine we came from there. And when sometimes I imagine I was there, and it doesn't look very real to me because you have since moved on. But those lessons are very key. I would not like to go back there, work very hard. I think moving on, there are many stories that you'll be sharing as we go along. And another thing I still remember is the fact that for us to be able to achieve the vision that we have set for ourselves, number one, we said we need to move to a bigger office, which was 10 times more. Very fast. We also needed to get more staff from 4 to 20. As mentioned, the office we are in. We also needed to get a project that can give us $1 million. And we were very restless. And I remember we also needed 20 million in terms of capital. So we needed to do all those things. So once we met, we just wrote a document, and that was a plan, the business plan of sorts. Just some few pages, not very complicated. And we wrote all those things down, things that we needed to do, and we assigned ourselves. I'm usually in charge of product development and business development in Username. All the products you see there, I'm the head of products. Julius is in charge of finances, very meticulous, and he has held the company for a long time. Joseph is in charge of sales and market. So we allocated us areas. And everyone was to look and make their area come to pass. And remember, I was in charge of capital, and we were looking for 10 million. A company that was not able to pay 27,000 worth of rent. So we met, and what we did, we decided to assign each and every one of us a target. I remember everyone was getting like 7 million per person. The brief was very clear. You need to go to your family members, you need to go to your friends, to chairmans. I also remember I had a loan. Everyone had a loan because that's how we started the business. Go and look for top up or get a new loan. Basically, we were doing something in IT called brute force. Brute force attack is where you try to hack into an account by all possible methods. Your password is 5 letters. You try all possible combinations. We did a brute force kind of a strategy where we looked for money from everywhere. Everyone had a time, and we were updating each other. It was really difficult. Remember, I approached so many people. There's one chairman that gave me money, a family member that gave me money. One of our directors here, they sold one of their property. I think it was worth, like 1.5 million. We're doing everything possible. When you are selling a property, remember, you sell it at a lower price so that you get a buy. So we came together and we were updating each other every week. Unfortunately, we don't get to 20 million. I think we got like 5 million or so to be able to start up, and it was not easy. And from there, we now decided, hey, why don't we now start looking for a product? And at the same time, let us start looking for an office. At the same time, let us start recruiting. It was quite a difficult challenge. But one of the things I remember, we were so convinced that it would work. Though very crazy, sometimes you look at the figures. I still have those business plans in my email. And I used to look at it and I say, from 5 million or 10 million to 100 million. How is that possible? But over time it happened. And we have learned many lessons. There are so many other stories that we can be able to share, to be able to tell you this one is possible. And I think maybe to go back to Julius, maybe he can be able to share more, some of the lessons you think somebody can learn maybe from our struggles. Maybe encourage them and tell them, guys, this thing is possible. You can also be able to do it. Stop operating a small business when your potential is much bigger. There are so many lessons, and I think I will give him this chance to share some of the stories and lessons that he feels maybe our viewers should be able to know, and they should be able to run with it. I'll also share more as we go along.
Thank you, Reuben. Going back to the point whereby you are looking for an office, I think that one is something that we can learn a lot from it, because you are moving from an office whereby you are paying very little amount of money, and now we are looking for an office whereby we are paying a lot of money. And we don't have that money, because the amount of money that we had been able to gather from either our own top-up, either from friends and family, and from our own savings, that money could not be able to do a project, and at the same time we hire people, at the same time we pay for an office. At that one point, I think I was looking at our liquidity, and I was telling Reuben and Joseph, hey guys, we need to see whether we can be able to swallow what we are chewing, because I felt maybe this is becoming too much. Responsibilities are becoming too much. And at that particular point, one of the things that I learned, especially from encouragement from Reuben, is that if we set our minds in this and we do it accordingly, we are going to make it. So do not give up and have faith. You need to have a lot of faith in yourself. Just know it is possible. It is always said that whatever has not been started cannot grow. But once you start on doing something, you are going to grow it and grow it big. So it's just a matter of taking a step of faith and knowing that right now I look as if I don't have anything that can be able to cater for this. But once you have that step of faith, and you know that you are going to hack it, you'll be able to. So that is one of the lessons that you need to learn, especially when you are doing a business. The other thing that I would like to share with you, especially for businesses that are starting, is about cash flows. Many businesses come down because of mismanagement of the cash that they get. You find a company, a small business, the focus points, whatever you are focusing on things that are not a priority. Instead of maybe focusing on things that are going to bring revenue, not maybe immediately, but over some time, you focus on expenses that don't benefit you. At the end of the day, you find yourself with negative cash flows. You are not able to, if you have an employee or employees, you are not able to pay them their salaries on time. If maybe you have suppliers who have been supplying you with materials, items, and any other things, you are not able to pay them. At that point, you get stressed. You are not able even to think clearly, because you don't have money basically to operate the business. So one of the things as a small business, when you're starting, you need to know how to manage your cash flows. You need to project. Know that this is the kind of revenue I'm expecting in the next 1 or 2 months. This is the kind of outflows. What am I supposed to pay? Once you are able to do that, you'll be able to have a good strategy, and then you'll be able to move on. Those are just some of the few things that I got to learn during that period.
Thank you for watching and subscribing to my channel. I'll be releasing more of this content and videos, and you surely don't want to miss. Please subscribe, engage, comment, and share.